two, there. All right, so now we are officially recording. This is the November 2021 marketing webinar here for BNI Alberta South, and just want to welcome everybody here. First off, two things. Thank you for being here. This is really awesome because we like to share and do a lot of stuff here. So the more people, the better there. Secondly, I'd like to say thank you to Dale for stepping up and going nuts when it comes to inviting people and getting people going. He's kind of been saying, I know you're busy, let me do this. And he's right. And thank you. Like seriously, Dale, you got some people here that haven't been able to attend before or haven't maybe managed to be a part of it. So it's, I'm thrilled, seriously. Working together. That's how we do this, right? So yeah, you got it, man. Thanks. So on that, I'm going to get basically going to go step by step through everybody and just ask you to introduce yourself. Give us an idea who you are, you know, what your chapter is. We know that you're whether you're events or communications. And, you know, tell us maybe something that you'd like to get out of this webinar or some of the future ones so we can plan accordingly, and we'll roll from there. So I'm just going to start with the top left of my screen and go down. And just by coincidence, the top one is Dale. So I'm going to get him to go first.
Hey guys, I'm Dale with Rogers Wireless in BNI Vibe. Communication lead for our chapter now, like our 9th or 10th term. So I've been around a while here. Hence the reason I took the initiative to try and get this going. And I want to make sure that all the chapters are kind of running on a more smooth basis and we all have the same kind of share the wealth knowledge. Because I think if we're, as much as people might not admit it, I think the events and communication team is more important than the LET in some cases.
Spoken like I've told you that many times, man. I love it. Awesome. Jennifer, you are next, please. Well, you're really, really quiet though. There you are.
There we go. I'm Jennifer and I'm with Fusion and I am the events coordinator.
Awesome.
And yeah, I'm just sort of new to the role and trying to figure things out. So here I am.
Perfect place to be. Thank you so much for coming. Ryan, my friend.
Hey, I'm Ryan. I'm with BNI Quarter. I'm the Secretary Treasurer. So I'm just looking to get some more information out of this. I'm actually pretty new to the group. I took over for a former business partner.
Nice.
Yeah, I really just want to be able to learn and be able to help our group be a little more clear on what they need to do.
Excellent. So in that, you may have a lot of questions, Ryan. Please feel free to ask, okay? Anything, because we might glaze over things just because we get into the mode of, oh, people know. And if you don't, ask questions. It's good. Thanks, man. Good to see you. Rachel, you are up.
Yeah, no problem. It's Rochelle.
I know, I did it again. As soon as I said it, I went, I did it. Oh.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm Rochelle with BNI Synergy in Red Deer. I'm new to the communications lead role at the beginning of October. I think I now have the basics figured out and rolling, and I'm just here to learn more and up level on what I can do in the communications role.
Awesome. Rochelle, good to have you. There, I did. Liz, please.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Liz from BNI Vibe, and I'm kind of new in the events role. Dale guides us really, really well. So what I'm hoping to get out of this is how to bring Vibe together face to face, because events is super important in order to get that camaraderie and bring people together in
100%.
person.
100%. Good to see you. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Dale, again for dragging people here. Okay, Jessica, please.
I'm Jessica and I'm with BNI Musketeers. I'm with the events committee. Awesome. And we are kind of very similar to Liz, just looking for ways to get the group together. We are a chapter that is officially online with COVID or without. So events are super important. I think one of the things I'd like to get out is we kind of are struggling with how to do events that are COVID friendly and includes everybody without excluding anybody, or, you know, but still keeping it professional.
Very cool. Very cool. Good to have you here. And the fact that you're the online only type thing, I love that we got that dynamic happening, because we think we can brainstorm better that way. So awesome. Aaron, please.
Yeah, Aaron Kegler with BNI Key Connections in Lethbridge, and I'm an events coordinator, new to it. So yeah, and we're only meeting online as well. So yeah. And as far as like that sort of thing goes, it's an interesting time, I guess, for everyone, trying to figure out how to get stuff together. So I'm a pharmacist, and so we do the rapid testing and stuff. So I don't know if we have people here on things or whatever, but just to meet restrictions, I don't know. I guess we could probably do something where we did like a remote kind of scan thing or something like that. Like, yeah, I have access to tests if that's something that's useful to people. Like you could probably run a test, get them a result and email it or something like that. I don't know if that's useful, but maybe. Anyway.
You never know, man. You never know. Thank you so much for being here. Awesome.
Yeah.
Stephen.
Hey, Stephen here, BNI Fusion Communications Coordinator. I've almost mastered the weekly slides, but getting everything else coordinated, communicating what needs to be done, keeping the Facebook, Instagram updated. It's constant. Yeah, you need to keep, I don't know how to put it. It's an interesting job, but at the end of the day, I'm looking to connect with others. Since I missed a couple of these meetings and draw some inspiration from your team.
Awesome. Good to have you, man. And glad you're getting things under control bit by bit. It's what it takes. All good. And that being the case, the stuff that I'm going to show off the video may totally mess you up on that. All right. So Jody, you're please.
Hi. So sorry, I missed what we were doing here, but I'm assuming just intros.
Exactly. Who you are, where you're from, what your role is, and what you're looking to get out of our meetings here.
Perfect. So yeah, my name is Joni. I'm with Platinum Lethbridge. I actually work with Interfaith Food Bank. So I have the nonprofit seat at our chapter. And I am one of 4 of us that are on events and that. So we're trying to figure out things as well. I don't do any of the marketing communication stuff. That's somebody else. Like we haven't combined those roles in our chapter. So, and yeah, just some ideas. Although we're attempting anyways to plan a curling event for our chapter, but I haven't got that all sorted out yet.
That's a cool endeavor. And not to worry, that the role isn't necessarily merged. We just have the marketing team. So it's got communications and events. So you're safe. Don't worry. You don't have to worry there. You just get to, since communications isn't here, you get to tell them what they're supposed to do. Right. So there you go. You got that. You got that lead now. So awesome. Greg T. I'm the Senior Regional Marketing Director here in Alberta South. Have been for longer than Dale's been doing these meetings, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Right. We started a lot of the processes and things that we're now becoming more ingrained in and more just every day of what we do, probably about 6-7 years ago. And now that it's rolling to the extent it is, it's really neat to see some of the numbers and some of the reactions that we get. I actually, on that note, would love to share with you guys some interesting things about where we are regionally. I guess the last report was that we had gone from 288th region in the world to 54th as of I think it was August. Anyway, and the way that goes is it goes through, members and how well members are doing and so on and so forth. And it kind of puts all those numbers together. Quite the journey to be in the top 10% worldwide and #1 in North America, as far as the region's concerned. You guys have so much to do with that. Like seriously, we get the systems together. We kind of plan these things out. And if you guys follow and work it and make sure and we all work together, it works. And case in point. And the really cool thing is since then we've moved up another point. We're now at 53rd, which I like to see. Yeah. And as I said in our senior meeting earlier, what do you mean we only went up 1 point? What's wrong with us? But anyway, I get competitive. What could I say? But no, seriously, that's not to say yay BNI region stuff. It is to say yay, great job what you guys are doing. Ultimately, our marketing team on the communications and the event side, our job is to do what we can to help bring our chapters together, to help everybody to get more awareness on the visibility, credibility side of things, so that we're helping members get more business. That's why we do what we do. That's why BNI exists. And this region is making it work to the point that the CEO of BNI, as in like the Grand Poobah, has requested a private one-to-one with Moji, and I'm really excited about that. Moji, of course, being one of our executive directors, because he wants to talk about some of the processes and things. was very, very happy to initially get an invite to go as well. But he said, no, just want to talk to Moji first. Moji's reason was she felt that he wanted to be talking about things that we set in motion 6-7 years ago on the communication side. So you guys are making this work. Thank you. Huge stuff. Great job. And remember, if we keep the focus on what can we do for our members to make it a better experience for them so that they're gaining not just personally, but on the business side as well, we're doing our job. We're doing it great. What I'd like to do right now, Tony couldn't be here today. She accidentally booked another appointment, or had an appointment booked. Didn't realize it was on the same day, but she did give me some stuff to share with you guys. So I want to cover those things first, and then we'll kind of maybe do some back and forth with some things, and then I'd like to share something at the very end as well on the communication side. So let's just do this. I'm going to share my slide here. Where are we? We're going to use this one right here. Is that showing? I'm not sure if that's showing. Yes, it is. There it is. Awesome. So here's a slide that we have here for you guys. You can change and share this as you wish, but this is the information we want. We're going to put it in the shared folder on the drives. I'll send you an email to everybody who's on the events and the communication side, so you have this. But yeah, February 5th is to save the date here. When you get that down there and get your chapters to do this, we're looking at 3 to 6 p.m. We're calling it the Southern Alberta, or the BNI Southern Alberta South 2022 Awards, as opposed to the gala. Reason being is, with current conditions and stuff, we still have I don't know how we're going to do this. So interesting thing if you think about it. You guys don't just have that problem on the chapter level, we've got that in the regional level too, right? How do we work this? Because we're allowed to have people, but we're not allowed to have so many, all that kind of stuff. So the way this is going to go, it's going to be held at the Ranchman's Club. It's going to be cocktail style. So, a cocktail party, cocktail attire. And it's going to be held for both in person and online. We kind of had a chat about that and thought, let's make a VIP online section as well. Reason being is, this is awards. So if somebody, let's say some of the people here that are in attendance today, you're up for an award, be nice to be there, but let's distance, whatever, other status, not feeling well, you want to be there still, you can, right? We want to have that there. So we're going to have a hybrid event of both live in person and the online as well. So invitees are all Alberta South chapter members, of course. Can you bring and attend with a spouse? You probably can. The thing is that I guess ticket numbers are limited to 50 when it comes to the live, I believe. So that's about where that stands right now. Details will be pending and coming out as we go, of course. And there's going to be sponsorship opportunities on that, as we said, with the details portion. I'm kind of potentially jumping in, just going to sponsor the tech side of things to make sure that we have the online thing working, and combined with the live and in person, encouraging people to go up, talk to the cameras when we're doing the social side, and then do a lot of the awards. So out of show of hands, out of curiosity, how many people have never seen or been a part of the BNI Alberta South Awards before? Wow, that is awesome. Okay, I'm going to stop share. Let's talk about this. Dale, this is where we get to have a lot of fun, man. We have a vast majority of people who are in attendance here who have never been a part of the gala.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, on that side note, I'm thinking of heading over to the Grey Eagle tonight. Dale, that's your segue. Go.
Yeah, let's just say back when we had the in-person ones, I still hold the record as the only person to
cover your
get Moji to blush. Let's just say that much.
So what the awards come down to, guys, is we like to award members and chapters for succeeding and exceeding in the areas that we work things, whether it be number of visitors per year. You know what? Let me grab something here. I'm just going to reach over here. Let's grab this. Okay, so this is one that I won in 2019. Last time we were actually live, it was the Notable Networker Award for our chapter. Okay, and that being because you excel, do a lot of the extra stuff in all the different areas of your chapter, from the thank you for closed business to one-to-one, so on and so forth, right? Thrilled I got that, but we'd like to acknowledge that, part of BNI is recognition, and we like to celebrate. There's people who've done some phenomenal work, like to make sure that they are recognized. This doesn't just happen on the regional level, they do it nationally as well. I'll be honest, I got some like a bunch of plaques here from regional or from global stuff and national stuff. I'm thrilled to do that. Why? It just makes me feel good that it's being noticed when you do that extra work, right? And we like to do that with our chapter members too. So that's what it's about. We have done it live up until 2019, which was that last one actually. The one Dale's talking about with Moji. We've had formal themes, and then we've had other themes, and that one was an 80s party, if I do recall correctly. And Dale
yes, because risky business is what I wore. So
yes, he decided to go risky business, and that would be the part where Tom Cruise slides out and does his Anyway, and just for the record, the Grey Eagle does not let you go into the gambling area dressed like that. So
we learned that one the hard way.
You did learn that the hard way. But it's a fun time to get together. And even if it's going to be online, right? Like, why not? Straight up, the last two national conventions, we have all the learning stuff that we do, and then we have an awards banquet after. I've been thrilled to be a part of that and just hanging out. Yes, it's been here online, but so those who are online, here's some of the things I would say to you guys to encourage them if they come online. And tickets online will be probably less than the tickets live. Let's be real, but there will be tickets because we are limiting it to a certain extent as far as attendees and so on and so forth. We don't want to make it so people can just randomly pop in. It's going to be. It's a paid event. There's awards to pay for. Let's be real. Okay. We want to make sure that we have this kind of stuff set up well. So in that, we still want to celebrate. So like I was alluding to in the national ones, what I loved was being able to sit there with my, glass of wine or champagne to be able to toast everybody and, across Canada, which is great. We're doing the same thing across our region. So yeah, that's the basics right there. Is that a good summary, Dale? What do you think?
Yeah, it's a good summary. And I think it also does bring up like the cross chapter camaraderie again too. So it's nice to a lot of these events, we forget that there's other people that we can use the resources, and that's where I think a lot of people don't realize these webinars are great for this. But also it's great to go and cut loose and get to know each other on, again, those in-person and events where it's just more fun.
Yeah, and just not as loose as Dale cuts. But but realistically, I'm glad you mentioned that though, Dale, as far as like how the webinars are good and how the events kind of thing, even if the online thing, how it's important. Straight up, I see faces here that I've seen before. I've seen you online. I have met nobody other than Dale, I think, in person. Really. And and plus minus on my end, that's a matter of opinion. But that was a shot, man. That was just a nice shot.
I know.
No, but realistically, it's good to meet you guys. It's good to be, to see that we are all part of how things work. And an interesting thing to kind of bounce back a little bit as far as how we're doing as a region and how we function together in that. One thing that I see a lot when it comes to regions and things on a national basis, and potentially internally too, that I can't verify as much, but our region is phenomenal at doing things cross-chapter. When I first started in BNI about 9 to 10 years ago, you didn't do a lot of referral back and forth between chapters. A lot of referrals, it was all internal. That's all that ever happened. And it wasn't really a big thing. But now, and I'm not saying that, we should do this all the time, but it's really neat to see how much we've reached out and gotten to know people cross chapter. And I don't mean just cross chapter per city. I mean, cross chapters, period. I have sent referrals both through into Lethbridge and into Red Deer myself, just because I've gotten to know people and I know that they're good at what they do. So
across Canada.
Yeah, 100%, and not just across Canada. I've done it across the globe, which has been awesome. But yeah, getting to know people is huge. I get a lot of business from someone I met at one of the national conventions who was in Ontario and is now based in Vancouver. Amazing to see that happen. So I just encourage you, to really, really establish some of these solid roots as far as the marketing stuff that we're doing for our chapter members, and encourage them to reach out more too. And when I say it that way, I'm talking your social media shares, get them out there, and anything that you guys post, anything you have going events wise, share it, get it out there to let people. So this is what happens. It's not just for getting you guys to go to things, by all means, no. It's also to let your circles know that you're involved in this, such as the emails I get on a fairly regular basis. And I'm going to say this as quite frank, I'm thrilled with this. The last 4 weeks, I have had randomly just people reach out and go, hey, who do you know that does this? I need a I need this, whatever service it is. And I'm like, oh, good, referral and BNI. My referrals have just been dropped in my lap. They haven't been a lot of work, just because people know on a regular basis, oh, if you need something, Greg's a good guy to go to because he knows all these people. Why? Doing with the check-ins all the time, letting people know I'm checking in with my business group. I know lots of business owners, yada, yada, right? Bang, there's an event. Hey, that happens to be Greg in that business group again. What do you know? Posting when I'm doing my feature presentation and asking everybody to share it. And then finding out that we have some mutual friends. I had someone come as a visitor 3 weeks ago that ended up being, so the realtor seat in our chapter had opened. When that happens, there's usually this big influx of a whole bunch of realtors because it's so big. I think Jessica's going, oh yeah, right, you know. So what ended up happening in our chapter is someone came in just before, right? Went, oh, let's go in just before the big flow started happening. But then another visitor. So we had 2 realtors at the same time. Okay. Well, neat. The one who was invited by not myself, someone else, ends up being the realtor that myself and my wife have been using for years. We've invited her many times. She shows up there because somebody else in our chapter said you should show up. I thought that is classic. So it's just neat to see where those circles start to collide and work. And as a result of that, think about it though, is that now she goes, oh, you're part of that circle too. Wow, that amplifies my visibility and credibility in her eyes. Amazing. So that's where sharing this stuff and getting things rolling out there is huge for us. In case anybody in your chapter asks why they should do it, there's the long-winded answer. Bottom line, the short-winded answer, because it helps you get more visibility. Why wouldn't you? Huge, right? So that's the basics I have on that. Does anybody have anything like to add or questions or anything on that before we go to anything else? I don't like to talk, believe it or not. I retired from being an entertainer on the side.
I think it's true though. Yeah, the biggest thing is, yeah, visibility. Like with all these online stuff now, I'm gonna try and take advantage of it too. But at the same time, the core basic principle of BNI obviously is that human contact. And the thing is with us, like I said, this is why my first comment about us being more important than the LET. Yeah, LET is great running your chapter, but when it comes down to it, the human connection, especially in this world, is much more reliant on us. And by doing that, you're also getting your credibility up by creating events. We had a great event, actually. I'm just gonna give an example of what we did for Vibe. We went to karaoke. Not many people could have done it, but you know what? We've already got one booked and ready for December now, and more people are jumping on with the photos. So
nice.
I think that's a key factor is once you start having fun and you make sure you chronologically take that and make sure that you pass it on to your chapter, it's addictive and fun, and more people will jump on there. And I think that'll build a lot of chapters camaraderie. And by coming to these events every week, every month, I should say, I think you're going to see more of us be able to share the wealth and be able to actually impart the wealth that we can all grow faster and make sure that our chapters are all happy, content, and having fun.
Totally. And one good, and thank you for that, Dale. One good thing that I could add to that too is that what I've noticed just as with the attendees and stuff from the webinars and some of the experiences, one thing that is recurring all the time is, yes, I had an event and only 3 or 4 people showed up and oh, that really sucked. I'm going to tell you right now, that's awesome. Why? Because that's a start. When I say we started systems 6-7 years ago that are now coming, are at a point of being, you know, the fruit is there now, but it took that time to get there. And it can be frustrating, straight out. But it's a difference between doing a fast build and doing everything really, really big at once, and then where do you go and there's a potential to crash there, or building a nice solid foundation and just going along really well and just building bit by bit. There's a bit of a business analogy in that if you really want to look at it. And that's actually a neat thing if you think about it, because we're part of a business organization, and that's kind of the point. So what we've done is taken our systems and built it on the basic foundation of what BNI does with its core values, with that it does with its systems, and said, let's build that and slow and steady get going. And it works. I will say for anyone, for those who are newer in BNI, maybe newer in business, I can attest to one really interesting thing. Okay, straight up, I joined BNI because the systems made sense. That was it. It wasn't because I thought this is going to be phenomenal for my business this way. I just went, no, these systems make sense. I need that clarification on my end as a business owner. So I started doing that. I went, oh, good. These things fit my systems. And then I built on those systems. Had a meeting, I should say, with about a year ago with a company that helps with systems and automations for companies. They're BNI member in Montreal, and he analyzed my company's systems and how we did our flow through from referral all the way through to completion of a job. It was long. I didn't realize I had as many systems in place as I did. And he actually got done with, that's impressive. You've got a lot of stuff in place. And he says, and it's really neat because there's a lot of BNI base in there. I went, yeah, it is. It's kind of cool. But because of that, it made it simpler. And for me to automate a lot of stuff, and straight up, I can probably take on almost double what I used to do business wise, because I now have some automation, a lot more automation in place to make life easier. Why? Building that foundation moving forward. And I only emphasize it that way because I don't want people to think I'm doing a rah BNI thing here. That's not the point. that's the furthest from the point. The closest thing we can get to in that is, how can this make sense for you so that it helps you in your business and everything you do? Yeah. Anyway, that's it. That's all I have to say on that one. So any questions, anything anyone wants to add? I don't want to keep you chatting here. Or actually, I should add, if anybody has anything, just jump out. I have no problem with you doing that. I used to teach classes and I just sit on the desk at the front and go, okay, here's how I teach. I'm going to say things. And if you disagree or have a problem, got a question, just yell it out. I don't care. And then it gets quiet. Awesome. Even Dale has nothing to say. That's scary, man.
I'm letting other people talk now.
I'll go.
You.
One of my questions is, we're planning events and some of the places that we want to go either do require or do not require like your vaccine stuff.
Right.
And we're trying to be as neutral as we possibly can. Do you have any advice on how to navigate it?
That's a very good question. Thank you. I'll be honest, that's something we've talked about a lot in the regional team. One thing that I've said when doing the regional meetings to the whole support team and everything is that, remember one thing, and this I guess goes for everybody here, as business owners, we're leaders. All right. We just are. We're leaders in our community. We're leaders in our circles because we own businesses, what we run, is what we do. In that, our job really is to lay some foundations on pulling people together and making things a good thing for people, right? So as you say, you've got different opinions, different ideas, totally get it. It's at the point, interestingly enough, that because of the way I talk, nobody knows where I stand on anything. And I like that. I think that's important. I don't want to judge anybody one way or the other. It's not my job. My job is how do I make things work for everybody? That's important. So in that, I will say, some of the discussions for this awards banquet or whatever, the way that it came together was, okay, well, we've got this in person, we do this. Okay, well, what about the online? How do we make this special for everybody there too? So I think there's two ways you can look at as far as your events. If you can do in person, people are allowed to because of whether it be vaccination status or with a negative test, cool. Maybe look into some of those venues and those things first, if possible. I mentioned the Grey Eagle, and it's just top of mind because of that. Oddly enough, I know they have rapid testing right there if you can't prove anything, which is really cool. They have a whole bunch of different gaming things that are available there. Maybe that's an option for you. That's here, Calgary, of course, but there's other casino things and stuff in places that may have some similar setups. Bonus. On that, if you can't find things and you want to arrange maybe things that are falling at the same time, one that's in person, one that's not, have one person run the one that's not in person, have the other one that is, so you can have things running at the chronologically at the same time. 7 p.m. tomorrow, we're both doing this. Maybe that's a good way. On that, if it can be done, I'd almost suggest that if you're doing a live thing and a online thing, maybe the live ones to go in and jump in onto the Zoom meeting or whatever it is to say, hey, how's it going? Might be kind of cool. Just it shows people we're connected and we care, right? Ultimately, that's it. We care. Is that
also try outdoor ones too. Like I know a couple of chapters have done that. They've done some ones like Rocky Mount Thunder has been successful with their Heidi, their travel agent, also has a certified hiking thing. So she does like a snowshoeing thing. And I think that she's going to open it up again for cross chapter again. But there's a lot of outdoor things you can do, like going skiing, snowboarding, tobogganing. There's a lot of things that do, as we get into the winter sports ones, if you're doing that, I've seen a lot of ideas passed around across a lot of chapters through all these different wing nights I even go to, and I pick people's brains all the time. There's lots to do. I think it just comes down to dependence on what your team is willing to do. That's the thing too. As much as there's open to outdoor ones, there's still lots, even with winter coming up. There's a lot of winter sports that don't require the vaccination stuff on there. There's a lot of wind sport you can do. There's a lot of different events, but there's also a lot of indoors. So I guess it just depends. What we've even at Vibe, what we're trying to do is we're trying to pull audiences a bit more and get a feedback for the field. Yeah, we threw it out there and 6 people were going to come. A couple people backed out at the last minute, but karaoke is also one of those harder ones. We're trying to throw different things out there. That's why I think having this, picking everybody's brain for different ideas is good, because yes, the problem is we have cross sections of chapters that have, they can't go to places,
We
or they
did,
don't want to go to places.
we did the corn maze, which was outdoors for Halloween last month, and that was fantastic. They didn't, require anything. So then this month, my plan was to do the zoo lights for here in Calgary, but they do require proof of vaccination, even though it's outdoors. So I'm like,
Yeah.
So the Gray Eagle, that's super interesting that you can do a rapid test. So what is the cost associated with the rapid test?
A whole zero.
Really?
I actually, and it's interesting because, as I say, we're going there tonight. Reason being is, straight up, we looked at that and went, I want to check this out. I want to see what's going on here. So they have on their website, new as of November 1st, it was free rapid testing, and then they give you a 72-hour certificate thing too. So I'd like to see and find out more about this so I can tell people about this. There's why it helps us out for situations like this, right? It gives us some different opportunities.
Like you could do like let's say you did a dinner or something, like you could do a dinner there, or if you even did a hybrid meeting, you could do a conference or a meeting there. Like, do you know of any other, the Great Eagle is kind of a renegade with most of what's going on at that Great Eagle, and there's nothing wrong with that. They support a lot of great charities within the Calgary area, but do you know of any other places that are offering that type of service? Offhand,
I don't. And that's this one, like literally I was just told about this weekend and went, okay, got to check this out. So if I hear, we'll try to make sure everybody gets to know what's going on there. And that's why I assume the casino side, but this may be too, straight up. It may be because of the fact that it's Tsutina owned and it's not on Calgary land, if you will. That break right there.
Maybe we should be having the awards there.
Right. And it's really interesting too, because, and let's be real, there's a lot of variances in some of the rules and regulations depending on where you are. I heard some things today about Austria that kind of freaked me out, to be honest with you. That did you hear that? They've I guess shut down everything. If you're vaccinated, you can do things. If not, you can work, you can go out for exercise, and that's pretty much it. And I went, wow, isn't that interesting?
Austria started it at midnight last night.
Wow.
Wow, so, I haven't heard that.
So that's the variance, like that, that's some of the wide things, whereas you got other places that are more, hey, it's okay, let's just be smart. I personally, I will say this, and this comes from I personally, and on the BNI standpoint, I've already said about the inclusivity and treating people well. I think that's important. I think it's important for you as business owners to be portraying that for sure. But also, be smart. It's not that everything's fake and not real, but let's just do the right things, treat people good and be smart about things. One of my examples, for instance, is if I have a client visit, my only request is, if you're sick, don't come here. I don't care whether it's just a cold. I don't want it. I work hard and I need to keep working hard. It's really that simple. And guess what? I used to say that before all this happened. So it's just a matter of some sensibility, I think.
And as a mediator, I kind of remain neutral on everything. I've got clients on every realm of the spectrum. So I've heard a lot.
Yep. And no doubt.
Everybody's got it.
No doubt. And to be real. Yeah, but you're right. And I'm thank you for mentioning that. I think because one thing that when this all came down, literally, we were, there were 3 of the senior team. We're on our way to Red Deer to do some of our summit training, because we used to do it in person all the time. We're on our way there and we're talking about, oh, all this stuff's happening. I don't know, it's getting kind of freaky. And already you had extremes as far as the polarization. It had already started. And so we had a really deep discussion about that. And we said, I think ideally we need to stop right now. And we kind of made some decisions. Okay, here's what we'll do. We'll try to organize this in online. We're not sure. By the time we got to Red Deer, Moji and Deli were already there, and Deli went, I've got a report from Global. I have a meeting with them in about 5 minutes. I'll get right back to you. I went, all right. Came back, and that report was, we're shutting down now, and here's what we're doing. Went, wow, that's what we already planned in the truck. That's cool. But it was to recognize and be sensitive to where everybody was. I am more of a neutral person myself, by all means, but I understand when you've got that the extremes and the polarization. It's not to say one person is more right or more wrong. People have their own reasoning why, and let's respect that, right?
Yeah,
I may not agree, but it doesn't mean I'm right. That I'm right.
and it's just some people need more time or education, or I've seen people go from one side of the fence to the other side of the fence, and it's just
and back. So have I.
Everybody has a different timeline.
Yep, and entirely. And it's interesting to see how a lot of, not only that, but how reports change too. And I'm going, okay, well, I understand some people being uncomfortable with, and to be real. And on that, it's okay, right? We're still good. So awesome.
But the Gray Eagle, that's in our back pocket now, Dale. Like,
right?
Everything's a Gray Eagle.
And if I can give anyone, so yeah, if you guys are curious, send me an email and I'll give you an overview of what happens, so I can tell you what the experience was like too, just going there to see what it is. What I've read in some of the reviews thus far is how they're set up on the floor, how they're set up when you're eating, how they have quite the thought out layout and everything, and I want to see it for myself. That's pretty much it. There's no more to it.
That's awesome.
So yeah, and an email would be marketing@bnisalberta.ca. Anytime you want to send something to us, send it there. It goes to myself and Tony both, and then we handle it that way. Now, all this stuff that we're talking about, so we're talking about events and stuff on the communication side. Communications, your job is to make sure that stuff gets out there. Okay, and it's literally communicate it to your chapter, communicate it to your public. When I say the public, the reason I say that is extremely it's a huge I guess a reason behind it is that if we're talking in our public page, we're talking in the public area of the things, we're getting to our members to share the things that we're doing on a chapter basis, whether that be an event or whether that be, because this is an event, the feature presentations every week. When we share that and we get our members to share that too, what we're doing is we're amplifying the visibility and therefore credibility of our members in our chapter. And the more you see happen there, the more people are going to start reaching out. That helps perpetuate visitors. Why do we say visitors? Well, one, more members, and stats are continually showing us how the bigger the chapters, the more members, the more referrals go across, the more business people get. The average seat value increases dramatically as you go. I would love to get to the 40-50 stage, because I know I've seen how much those numbers increase, and I'd just be hiring somebody to manage my company because I'd be losing my mind. Yay, that's a good thing. So yeah, that's why we want, when you push things that way. And if it's not members, it's also people who see members as being really active and extremely valid business owners, and those are people that they want to do business with. I continually say, yeah, BNI, we do a we don't just accept people. They're vetted professionals. We go through an interview process to make sure that people are vetted and are some of the best in their industry to work in our chapters. I know we've all had experience with some people in our chapters that aren't necessarily as professional as we'd like them to be, and that's okay. And what I like to say is, in business and in life, it's not if problems happen, it's when they happen, how do you handle them? So problems, okay, let's just deal with it openly. I just like to admit it myself and say, yep, drop the ball on that one, I'll fix it. And making sure that it's done properly next time. Goes on the regional side too. So if I mess up something, please be okay with pointing it out. Just be kind. That's all I ask. where are we at the 441 side now? Dale, really quickly, last week or last month, I kind of alluded to and showed a little bit about that meeting system. Did I not? Or did I?
A little bit, not much.
Okay. Here's my question to you guys right now, because we're going much further into it now. I'll give you the background. But first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording at this point, because this is the thing I've recorded several times already. And so it's not to hide it from anybody. It's just I don't need to bore them where they go, we've already seen this. So I'm going to end here and we'll get back to this. Okay.